Welcome to Stubs with Jason. S-T-U-B-S spells Stubs. S-T-U-B-S spells Stubs.
Stubs.
Hey people, welcome to Stubs with Jason, where I discuss movies, music, TV, pretty much all kinds of things on all kinds of screens. This week we're going to take a look at the 2024 summer movie schedule with a few bonus streaming series dates that I'll drop in there too that may be of interest. So get your calendar apps or your post-it notes ready. Alright, we're going to break these down by release dates. I'll give each movie or series a hype classification. If I say can't miss, being pretty straightforward, right? Like this is something I feel like can't miss. Gonna watch it on day one or opening weekend. We'll be right in there for it. Maybe it's the other one is next one is a maybe. Maybe I'll see it in theaters. I definitely have an interest in watching it at home if I don't happen to make it to the movies for it. Then we got wait, which I'll admit is a tricky rating because sometimes it might be something that looks watchable or enjoyable, but I may not think it looks cinematic. Something that may not look like something that needs to be seen at the movie theater, right? So other times I might think it's something that looks really rough, and maybe there's a chance that it's something that could be good or surprise me. And maybe if I hear some good scores or word of mouth or something, I might check it out. So I'm all about getting out there and everyone forming their own opinions and checking things out on their own. I actually love it when there's a movie that I really love that gets wrecked out there in reviews, or by people in general. Not that I'm trying to be, contrarian or anything. It's just a nice reminder that we're all different, and that's a good thing. So, a lot of times I miss summer movies simply because there's just so much that they cram out in these few months. I like it as much as I see them. You guys all know I see a lot of movies, but I don't see all of them. So, I will admit, once I miss something in the theater, I often struggle to come back around to it at home unless somebody in my life is consistently pushing me towards watching it. And then my final classification, my final hype classification is pass, which again should be pretty straightforward, right? Like, I think it looks bad, or maybe it's just not so much for me, you know what I mean? But it's something that I probably won't watch unless someone really sells me and really convinces me that I'm missing out. All right, so kicking off with May 3rd, we had The Fall Guy. That's got Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, Hannah Waddingham, Aaron Taylor Johnson. It's directed by David Leitch. He did like Deadpool 2, a lot of the John Wicks. He did Hobbs and Shaw. He did Nobody. If I wouldn't have had such a crazy weekend, I probably would have checked this movie out. It's just about a stunt guy who suddenly finds himself in real dangerous situations and real bit of a mystery that he's got to figure out, I guess. I think it looks fun, looks kind of over the top, and, like a just a good summer popcorn flick. I'd like to see it. We'll just have to wait and see. So for now, it's going to be a maybe. The next movie that came out that we had was Tarot. To me, I'm watching the trailer, this just seems like one of these movies that come out every 6 months. A studio throws a little bit of money to a filmmaker and says, go make something dark and creepy with a couple of jump scares. Teenagers and horror junkies will gobble it up. And I'm sure it's fine for what it is. My kids normally end up seeing these movies, and if they come home with a really strong recommendation, I might give it a shot, but my gut says I'll probably never watch it. I'll probably never watch this movie that might be something or absolutely nothing, so I'm going to give this one a pass. So, next on this weekend was I Saw the TV Glow. This looks to be like a bit of a mystery thriller. It follows a couple of kids that bond over a weird canceled TV show due to its dark content. And that appears to maybe have some kind of paranormal impact on the town that they live in. I don't know. This movie just looks wild. It's an A24 release, and it just seems like it's going to be out there, like it's going to be kind of wild. Justice Smith is in it. He's really hit or miss for me. But this could be a movie I think that sneaks up on people. I'm not sure if I'll get to it in theaters, but it's something I definitely want to check out, so especially if I hear good things from like people that I know. So again, A24 releases are typically at least worth checking out. So I'm going to give I Saw the TV Glow a wait. The last movie that we have for this weekend is Unfrosted. It actually released on Netflix. I was really looking forward to this Jerry Seinfeld project. I've heard it really bombed, which is a shame because looks like it has an incredible cast, and it seemed like the premise of a breakfast pastry Cold War in the 60s just sounded like a lot of fun. I'll probably still check it out the next time I get Netflix, but I'm not going to sign up for it just to watch this movie as I had kind of planned. So I'm going to give this one a wait, which is, again, unfortunate. All right, so the next date to put on your calendars is May 10th. The movie we have here is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So, for me, guys, if you didn't watch the trilogy of the Planet of the Apes movies that released in the 2010s, you're really missing out. I recently rewatched them, and they are still nothing short of spectacular. I feel like it was wrapped up nicely. It didn't feel like they needed to revisit this, but, Disney has to make their money back after they bought Fox. So, we'll see. I really hope this is great. Again, if you haven't watched the last three, watch them. They are quietly the best trilogy of the last decade. So, because of all of that goodwill that those carry, this is absolutely a can't miss. I'm really looking forward to it. All right, the next day we have here is May 17th. We're going to start off with Back to Black, which is an Amy Winehouse biopic. I don't know. It's only been like a decade since she passed away. I can't imagine there's a huge hunger for this. My gut says it's gonna bomb. So just because in general, I don't have a great appreciation of Amy Winehouse. Just really didn't do a whole lot for me. It's gonna be a pass for me. I would imagine if you're a fan of her music and her story, you're probably going to check this one out. But I'm going to mark it as a pass at this point in time. Next on the 17th is If, which is Imaginary Friend. If appears to be a movie about a little girl and her relationship with imaginary friends. The movie is directed by John Krasinski, who most of you know as Jim from The Office. He directed the first pair of A Quiet Place movies, and I thought they were absolutely fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to see what he has to offer in another genre. This movie has Ryan Reynolds in it. He's typically fun. I could see this doing all right and being a really fun movie. So I'm going to give it a maybe for now. But there's a good chance I might check this one out on a $5 Tuesday. But for now, officially, it will fall into my maybe hype level. The next movie I have is The Strangers Chapter 1. Do you guys remember that movie with the people wearing bags on their heads as masks kind of terrorizing people at a cabin or something like that? Well, apparently we're in for more of that. This is directed by the guy who made Nightmare on Elm Street 4. His name is Rennie Harlin. Rennie Harlin has 6 Razzie Awards for Worst Director and a Worst Picture to go with them. So for me, it's a franchise that didn't really hit me hard. I didn't really land, strongly with me. So this is a pass for me. The last movie I have on May 17th slate is Blue Angels. It's in IMAX only. So, it's a new Blue Angels documentary. It's in IMAX. It's directed by Hangman from Top Gun Maverick, who's in the upcoming Twister 2 that I'll get to eventually. If the opportunity presents itself, I could definitely see myself going and watching this. Could be a good Father's Day thing that I check out, or who knows, right? I'm a sucker for airplanes, and I'm a sucker for loud things on big screens, right? So it just kind of seems perfect. But it's still a maybe because, again, just accessibility to IMAX screens, right? On May 24th, we kick things off with Furiosa, a Mad Max saga film. Well, this is a prequel spin-off to 2015's Mad Max Fury Road. I know I'm in the minority, but I thought Fury Road was just okay. I've only watched it once. I do plan on revisiting it eventually. We're going to see more about the origins of Furiosa, who's originally portrayed by Charlize Theron and now by Anya Taylor-Joy. I like both of them. This also appears to feature a Chris Hemsworth, who's just having the best time of his life making this movie. I'll say the first trailer or the first teaser I saw didn't do much for me, but I've slowly come around to having a little bit of excitement for this movie. So, cinematically alone, I'm definitely going to check this out. I hope it's a wild and fun ride. So, Mad Max Furiosa, can't miss. Also on the 24th, I guess if you've got kids, you're going to do the Garfield movie. Guys, they're, if you didn't know, I didn't know really. I guess I didn't really think about it or know, but they're trying to make Garfield work again. This time with Chris Pratt, and people seem to love that guy consistently, so they're just firing on all cylinders here. I think we all know what to expect here, right? So, I mean, it's a pass for me. If I was still in the younger kid days, if I had kids that were younger that might be into this, I could see where I'd give this a swing, but at this point in my life, thankfully, I can say this is a pass. All right, the last movie that I want to touch on the 24th is actually a Disney Plus streamer movie. It's a Disney Plus streamer movie about the Beach Boys. I love music history. I know a little bit about the Beach Boys, but not a ton. I obviously know and love all the hits. I could definitely see me giving this a shot. Like Garfield, there's a targeted audience here, but I definitely see this as a maybe. There's a good chance that I watch this one on Disney Plus. Also on Disney Plus, May 31st has Jim Henson, Idea Man. This is a Ron Howard directed documentary about Jim Henson, and I can't lie, I'm so excited for this. I almost started crying just watching that trailer. I don't know what it is. There's just something magical about the original Muppets and Sesame Street. To see the love and the creativity that Jim put into these things, it's just special. So for me, this is absolutely a can't miss. Like, I'm signing up for Disney Plus just to watch this. Jim Henson, Idea Man, can't miss, which will probably lead into me, checking out the Beach Boys on like a random day when I got not as much going on, right? So, really looking forward to the Jim Henson biopic or documentary. Good. Just good stuff, I'm sure. Jumping out to June 7th, we have Bad Boys 4, Ride or Die. And holy smokes, I couldn't believe they peddled little Martin Lawrence and Will Smith back out there for a fourth time. What is there to say? I'm going to say pass. I've definitely watched all of the first Bad Boys, probably parts of 2. And I know I watched all of 3 because I went to the theaters to see it, and I get it. I get why these movies work. I just don't see myself putting money down for it. These movies are made to be watched on Saturday afternoon in the summertime where it's too darn hot outside to go and do anything and you're just ready for a nap. So for me, Bad Boys 4 Ride or Die is a pass. Out on the couch watching it one day, maybe. It's a pass. Just to be clear. So the next thing I have on June 7th is The Watchers. This is directed by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, which, hooray for nepotism, I guess. I've seen this trailer way too many times. Again, as a person who goes to the movies regularly, some movie trailers, it feels like I've seen them and I can recite them and I'm just sick of seeing them already. And this kind of falls into that. With that said, this movie appears to be a bit of a mysterious thriller movie, and where some people appear to be in some weird dimension reality hopping situation. They're at a bunker in the woods. There's some unseen creatures observing them. I don't know. This movie might be something. Of the 2 movies for this weekend, I'd see this one, but I think at best I can give it a maybe because the trailer just doesn't really strike out. So The Watchers is a maybe. The last thing I want to highlight for this weekend technically is on June 6th, but Disney's The Acolyte, which is a new Star Wars series, drops. So this is a Star Wars series set in the old High Republic era. So way before The Phantom Menace, The synopsis says, an investigation into a shocking crime spree that pits a respected Jedi Master against a dangerous warrior from his past. So look, I'm not gonna lie, I'm cautiously excited for this, as I am with pretty much all Star Wars stuff. When I see it, I'm a sucker. I'm like, oh man, I hope this is really good. So look, Star Wars has really let me down for a while. Obi-Wan was really up and down. Everything just seems to be up and down after that dumpster fire that was The Rise of Skywalker. So, that said, this cast for The Acolyte includes Daphne Keane. She played Wolverine's daughter in Logan, and Carrie-Anne Moss, who's been in many things. Obviously, her most famous role is Trinity from The Matrix. And then Lee Jung-jae, who was the main character in Squid Game, and I thought he was really good in that. So I'm really looking forward to this. I hope it's really good. You're out of the Skywalker era. You can do whatever you want here. You got all the freedom in the world here to just give us a good story and give us good entertainment. So I'm going to mark this as can't miss. Again, just because I'm a sucker for the wars. If you're out and you've been burned too many times, my heart goes out to you, and I totally understand it. But yeah, I just saw the trailer that they dropped on May the 4th this last weekend, and I'm like, it might be good. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to get my hopes up. There's only so many times, though. There's only so many times. I really hope they crush this, guys. All right, our next date we look at here is June 13th. We're going to go ahead and hit that before we get to the weekend of the 14th. So June 13th is the streaming date for The Boys Season 4 on Amazon Prime. Come on. Now, if you've been into this madness for the last 3 seasons, I can't imagine you're backing out now. I'm really looking forward to this. I want to see where they go. I think last season was all right. It definitely had some moments, but I also think they kind of underestimated how desensitized some of us are to their crudeness. Some of the pre-press made me think I was going to need to be baptized a second time after watching it. I mean, it was bad, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. Anyway, the show is good fun. I love that cast. Homelander is proper awful. I love Butcher, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It's a great, if you've been watching it, it's tons of fun. If you don't know what I'm talking about, The Boys is just a really over-the-top superhero universe story on Amazon that, my God, you just should not watch it with your kids at all. Like, don't even watch it when they're in the house. Like, it's pretty rough. But that said, if you're cool with all of that, and if you can find entertainment still in those kind of situations, yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. I really enjoy that. So, another one. So, yeah, okay, so just to be clear, The Boys Season 4, can't miss. So, the next thing I want to hit on here is another streaming release date, and that is House of Dragons Season 2. So, House of Dragon is a Game of Thrones prequel series. I'm very much looking forward to the second season. Season 1 was really good. They've probably taken a little too long to get this Season 2 out, but I mean, I get it. I'm sure there were residual effects from COVID, and then the strikes that occurred. Anyway, I really hope they crush this. Game of Thrones has great potential as a franchise. It's a great world that they've kind of established. There's a lot of depth and layers to it. And then, I mean, it's, dragons. And just like I said, I'm a sucker for Star Wars. Dang, I'm a sucker for dragons. Anything that's kind of Godzilla adjacent, dinosaurs, dragons, right? Like, it's going to perk me up a little bit, right? Like, oh, what do you got going on here? And so House of Dragons Season 2, can't miss. If you sat out on Season 1 because you were so heartbroken about Season 8 of Game of Thrones, the main series, I totally understand, but let me tell you, House of Dragons Season 1, absolutely worth going back and watching. So, really looking forward to Season 2, can't miss. So, coming up now to June 14th, you've got Pixar's Inside Out 2. As I mentioned before, my kids are a little older, so I don't necessarily get out and go to the kiddo movies like I used to, unless one of them specifically requests it. So with that said, I kind of hope they ask me to see Inside Out 2. I know there's tons of Disney and woke and all that stuff. And look, the messaging, I get it. I get where it's just like, all right, man, enough is enough. Just entertain me for once. I get it. I thought, like I said, I thought the last one was pretty good. That voice cast is so good. And I think Pixar is due for a win. So I'm going to put maybe, just because, again, I don't know if I'm going to go see it just to go see it. But if I had younger kids, this would be a can't miss. So, and that's the only real major release as far as movies go on June 14th. All right, so next up we have June 21st's The Bike Riders. So, all right, imagine a movie about greasers, bikers, starring Tom Harley, this guy, get a load of this guy thinking he can record a podcast. What a goof. All right. All right. Imagine a movie about greasers and bikers starring Tom Hardy and Austin Butler. It also includes Michael Shannon and Norman Reedus. So for me, as I see this, I think Goodfellas on motorcycles. At least that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. So it might be good. I could also see this thing just being a real bloated, just goes on for way too long. Not a whole lot of story there. Just a whole bunch of let's hold on these long, slow-mo, scenes way too long. I don't know. It's going to have some really good writing to make it stand out. I'm going to throw this in as the maybe. Because again, if I hear it's really good, I might, rush out and go check it out, But, I could definitely see this being one that I just might wait, check out at the house. It just doesn't seem like something I have to go and see in a theater. But I'm not completely opposed to it. I don't mind that cast. Great actors there. Just kind of wish there was a little more as far as what they were trying to tease me in with. All right, moving on to June 28th. We have Horizon, an American saga. So Kevin Costner made a big old frontier / Western movie, I reckon. And if that's your thing, you'll be there for this one. This is a part 1 of 2 coming out this summer. The second part comes out in August. I mean, that's kind of cool, right? I know Yellowstone is huge, and all that. There's a bit of rise in this kind of genre, the frontier life, I guess, if you want to put it. I'm probably really simplifying that. All 5 of you who listen are probably fuming at me right now, and that's okay. So I don't know. We'll see. It seems like something that should have been put straight on Paramount Plus, but when you're Kevin Costner, I guess you could just say, I think I'll be double dipping at theaters this year. You've got enough call to do that. So it's a pass for me. It might be really good. That whole genre, the frontier life, all that stuff, just doesn't hold a lot of allure for me. So Horizon, an American Saga, part 1, or chapter 1, is going to get a pass for me. The other movie coming out this weekend is A Quiet Place Day 1. We touched on A Quiet Place earlier. However, this newest entry isn't directed by John Krasinski, so I'm going to lower my expectations a little bit. This movie says it tells the story of why the world went quiet after this invasion. Even with the lowered expectations, though, and it being a prequel, I really enjoyed the last 2, and until they drop the ball, I'm in. So I'm going to give this a can't miss. But I could also see where this one might burn me. I hope it doesn't, though. I hope it's really good. All right, next we jump out to July 3rd, where we have Despicable Me 4. It's another one of these guys. I didn't mind the first 3 Despicable Me movies. They're okay. I don't think I ever made it through the Minions movies. It looks like in the trailers for this one, Gru has a baby boy, and shenanigans. So I don't hate these movies. I'm not itching to see it. Again, parents with young ones, I'm sure you're going to be out there fighting that good fight. You'll just have to let me know. So I'm going to put a weight on this one because, again, it's a step up from Garfield. We're in the sense of, I have an interest. I might see it. I just not rushing out to see it, right? So The other release for July 3rd is actually a Netflix release. It is Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. So, Beverly Hills Cop may have been slightly before my time. I know I've watched the first and some of the others. They just don't hit me as must see. Everything kind of seems like diminishing returns, and I hate to kind of just throw Eddie Murphy under the, but like all the stuff that Eddie Murphy seems to be doing lately just doesn't seem to be landing very well. Someone would have to sell me really hard to give this a chance, but for now, Axel F is going to get a pass. Next, we move on to July 12th. The first movie we want to talk about for that weekend is Fly Me to the Moon. It has a really solid cast, headlined by Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum. It appears to be about the production of a fake moon landing that's made in the event that the real moon landing fails. I think this could be solid. I'm a sucker for space. I like 60s aesthetics. Thank you, that thing you do. Again, this could be pretty good. It's from Apple Studios, I'm pretty sure. I can also see, because of that, where it just falls into this kind of meddling middle ground, unfortunately. But with that said, I'll give it a maybe. I could see myself checking it out at some point in time. Definitely not something that I have to run out and see in the theater, though. The next movie we have for the 12th is Longlegs. You can't have a summer movie list without Nicolas Cage, right? So the synopsis of this movie is FBI agent Lee Harker is assigned to an unsolved serial case that takes unexpected turns, revealing evidence of the occult. Harker discovers a personal connection to the killer and must stop him before he strikes again. I don't know. This is distributed by Neon, who I feel like is trying to wedge themselves in as a competitor to A24. They did 2019's Parasite. They did 2023's Adam Driver-led Ferrari, directed by Michael Mann. I'm going to say wait on this one, but I hope that it surprises us and turns out to be something really good. If you're not sure, definitely go check the trailer out and just get a sense from it there, right? The next weekend we have is July 19th. The headlining movie that weekend is Twisters. Listen, John DeBont's 1996 Twister is a definitive 90s movie for me. Like, I'm really surprised they never went back to that well. I mean, I know they had like all the they had Hurricane. Like, this movie kicked off like volcano and hurricane season in movies in the mid-90s for some reason. But they never went back and made a Twisters sequel. So I'm glad they didn't. In a time where I've had to suffer through so many bad legacy sequels, I'm really hoping that Glenn Powell's endless charisma continues to land with me. I thought he was great in Top Gun. He was really good in 2022's Devotion. It's a decent wartime aviation movie set during the Korean War. I've also heard he's really good in this year's Anyone But You, but I haven't checked it out yet. And like I said, he's doing that Blue Angels IMAX production. Director Lee Isaac Chung helmed Best Picture nominee Minari and has helmed a few episodes of The Mandalorian. So it seems like it absolutely needs to be seen on a big screen. I'll be there at the biggest and baddest screen and loudest screen I can get to. So yeah, can't miss. Also, kind of crazy for this Twisters movie to come out in the year where we're seeing historical numbers of tornadoes hit the Midwest, hit Ohio. I don't know. Obviously, this might be really sensitive for some people to watch, but that said, I'm really hoping to just go and have a good time. I hope it's just loud and crazy and fun. So, July 26th, we have probably the movie that, the most anticipated movie of the summer for me, Deadpool and Wolverine. Look, as of now, I haven't watched the trailer. I don't want to see it. This is one of those movies where a black screen could be presented that simply says the title and date, and I'll be there. I think this movie's going to be huge. I hope it's great. I hope it's hilarious. I don't really care about the action or the superhero element in this series. Obviously, it's part of the humor that they develop, and it's part of just the narrative in general, but I'm really there for the jokes and the gags. I just want to laugh and have a good time. So I will absolutely be in the theater for this one. Twisters, like I said, can't miss. Deadpool and Wolverine on July 26th, also a can't miss. Really looking forward to it. All right, on August 9th, we have Borderlands. I gotta say, video game adaptations are a tough sell. Even though I've finally started Fallout, and wow, if you got Amazon and you haven't watched Fallout, Fallout's really great. I've played a few of the games. I've definitely put some time into them. It's very refreshing to see just a really well executed adaptation for something that you love. That's what Fallout's been so far. So, as far as Borderlands goes, like I said, video game adaptations are a tough sell. I never got into these games, so they don't have any expectations they have to meet with me. It's be purely based on what I feel of it as a movie. So, I think it looks like it could be some fun. It has a good cast, a really good cast. By a good cast, I mean they've all been good at points in their career. I hope it's good. Definitely not a can't miss at this point in time. It's a very strong maybe, though. Like, I could see this happening. We'll see. I hope it's good. Also on August 9th is Trap. So this is a new M. Night Shyamalan movie. Man, how about that? You got a family releasing, a father and daughter who both are releasing movies in the same summer. That's kind of nuts. Anyways, Trap, from what I understand, is about a guy taking his daughter to a concert, and they're trying to find a serial killer who they think is at this concert, and it's all locked down or something like that. I don't know. I haven't seen the trailer, or if I did, I don't remember it. Like, it's M. Night Shyamalan. He is Captain Hit or Miss. I don't know. I'll say wait on this, just because in general, like, I've watched his last few movies at home, and I feel like when you're at home and you watch them, you do have a little bit of lowered expectations. And I kind of feel like that's fitting for his skill at this point as far as being a filmmaker. I'm going to say that one is definitely a wait for me. So, moving on to August 16th, we have Alien Romulus. So, look. If you're a multi-installment franchise and you've delivered more crap than good, you get bumped down on the hype train, okay? And listen, there's only 2 good Alien movies, all right? There's a couple of okay Alien movies too, but the majority of them are disappointing and bad. That definitely includes Prometheus. So why do I keep watching? Because dang it, I just want them to be good. I have friends and family who absolutely love this franchise, and I want it to be good for them so bad. So, reluctantly, with all of that in mind, I'm going to put Alien Romulus on my can't miss. And I'm sorry, I don't have any details on the movie at the moment, because I only saw part of a trailer and I didn't have the sound on. So the only thing I could say so far is that, well, it certainly looks like an Alien movie. So I hope it's good. And I won't be surprised if I'm disappointed and I absolutely savaged this movie. Because it's been bad, guys. Alien movies have been bad. So, for whatever reason, I guess out of the love and respect for my friends and family, and because, again, I think deep down, I really want these to be good. I like the basic idea of it. Alien Romulus is a can't miss. And daggone it, I hope I don't regret that classification. I'm going to be so mad. Like, this is the last straw. Like, if they goof this up, this thing needs to be permanently shelved. Like, they're never going to figure it out. I don't know how many chances things get. Alien has had so many chances. So many chances. So, we'll see. But, can't miss. For reasons. Alright, so, August 16th also has Horizon, an America Saga Chapter 2. Again, that's Kevin Costner's Big Ol' Frontier Part 2 comes out. Nothing changed in my heart since I started recording this, So I'm going to still have to say it's a pass. And I hope that all you fans of the genre love it. So, moving on to August 23rd is the long gestating The Crow. They have been dying to get a Crow reboot off the ground. It's probably been every bit of 20 years since I watched the original. My gut says if I were to go back and watch it today, I'd be a lot harsher on it. So I'm not really sure. If you aren't familiar with The Crow, it's a dark superhero kind of deal. Guy loves a lady, she gets murdered, he gets a bit of a gothic glow up and seeks revenge. I don't know. The trailer I watched didn't do much for me. Like, I don't know. There were choices in it that I was like, I mean, you're getting away from the originals, and I guess that's what you should do at this point, you know. I can't blame them for that. You do want to kind of modernize these things. So, I mean, there's a curiosity for me there. I'd say there's a pretty good chance that I go, but I can't quite put it in can't miss. This definitely falls in my maybe bucket. All right, and to cap this thing off is September 6th. I don't know, summer I know technically in sometime a little later in September, but look, that summer movie, like your Labor Day weekend, you're pushing it, okay? Summer movie, kids are back in school. My mind is no longer in summertime. You know, when them kids go back, you know, I know the last couple, you know, kids are back in school for those. But look, I'm going to make these rules. I'm going to do this thing. This is how I'm doing it. All right. So, and I want to end with a bang, which is, again, like September 6th, Beetlejuice. I again, kind of like Twisters, like, just can't believe that they had that it never really worked out, that they never went back to this. This is another one. I mean, we've heard the rumors for years and years and years and ups and downs. It's coming, it's going, it's that. Listen, man, this is it. The final movie on my summer movie preview session. I know I ragged on legacy sequels. I can't lie. I'm pretty excited for this, guys. Like, Michael Keaton is still incredible. I like the addition of Jenna Ortega, Willem Dafoe, Justin Theroux. I don't really know anything about it, and I hope it stays that way. I think the original is an absolute classic. Tim Burton literally at the height of his powers, which is also why I'm a little nervous. I gotta imagine they don't all come back unless they have a really great idea. I really hope we end our summer movie season with a bang. This movie has great box office potential and could even leg itself out to Halloween, which I have to admit, I was a little surprised they didn't position it closer to Halloween. But I think studios are just afraid of that window in general. If you don't crush it in October, you're going to get buried in the holiday season of movies. Looking for it. Oh my gosh. What am I doing? It's May and I'm already talking about November. Gross. Anyway, I think this movie could be huge. I hope it's great. I hope they crush it. This is a very strong can't miss for me. All right, guys. Well, that's all I got for the 2024 summer movie preview show. If you were keeping score, there were 34 movies or shows that I discussed. 10 of them were maybes, 8 of them were passes, 5 were wait, and 11 were can't miss. So 33% of the media coming out this summer I feel is can't miss. That's not a great number, but that's, not terrible either. Again, and if I had younger kids, some of those, there would be more can't miss on there. This should be a decent summer of movies. I do feel like we've kind of been on a pretty good swing lately, so we'll see. I can see where people are talking at the end of this summer and saying, oh, we just had a big letdown. The box office is smaller returns. And I understand that. You know what I mean? Like, I think everything's still kind of adjusting and figuring things out after, again, we lost a couple of years. Marvel has kind of taken a dip. But, I know Dune and Godzilla have absolutely crushed this year. Like, Warner Brothers and Legendary are, like, on fire right now. So, we'll see how everything balances out and where that'll shakes out and everything and see what that leads to. So, yeah, looking forward to it. I thank you all for listening. I hope you can give it a share and a like and subscribe if you haven't done that. Again, I'm on Amazon. I'm on YouTube. I've got a Facebook page. Just search Stubs with Jason. You can email me at stubswithjason@gmail.com. If you have any questions, or maybe if you have just anything you'd like to share, or maybe something you'd like to hear me discuss at some point in time, just would love to hear from you. So I thank you for taking the time to listen to this. It's definitely the best hour of my week, putting this all down and putting it all together. Well, I mean, it's more than an hour, but whatever. I have a good time putting all this together, and it's still, yeah, good stuff. So, some of those movies this year, I definitely plan on bringing some guests on, kind of having some back and forth discussions. So, be interesting to see how that all shakes out. Looking forward to my first summer of Stubs with you guys. So, that's it. I'm out. Thanks again.
Stubs.
Stubs all done.